Good evening, West Orange, and welcome to our conference agenda. This is February 10th, and we welcome you to our Town Council conference agenda. Madam Clerk, would you kindly read the opening statement?
This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. A notice of this meeting was mailed to the Star-Ledger and the West Orange Chronicle on December 1st, 2014. A notice of this meeting was also posted on the bulletin board in the Municipal Building, West Orange, and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk of the Township of West Orange on December 1st, 2014. Councilman Cirillo?
Present.
Councilman Kukoviac?
Present.
Councilwoman Spango?
Present.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Present.
Council President Garino.
Present. Okay. Since we have no presentations on our conference agenda tonight, we'll go right to council liaison presentations. Councilman Cirillo?
Council President, we didn't meet yet since the
This is
last
for you?
meeting. We're scheduled to meet later on this month.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kukoviac?
Thank you, Council President. The West Orange Open Space Commission did not meet yesterday because of the weather, so we will move to next month. The West Orange Historic Preservation Commission is potentially going to consider at its meeting tomorrow a application for a certificate of appropriateness from the Historic Preservation Commission as per under our ordinance for the changes that were made to the plan, I guess going back 18 months or so, and they have not gotten that certificate from the commission, and we're hoping that we will be able to consider it at tomorrow's meeting.
Anything else, Councilman?
No, I just asked the administration to discuss a little bit about the library and the PRISM actual potential transactions. So at some point tonight.
Okay. Councilwoman Spango?
Our meeting for the Renner House was canceled last night due to the weather as well.
Okay. Councilwoman McCartney?
Thank you, Council President. On our agenda tonight, we do have a grant application that's being submitted on behalf of the Environmental Commission for Sustainable Jersey. It'll be a $10,000 grant. If you recall, Pleasant Valley Sewer Commission and Rutgers Cooperative came in and gave a presentation on stormwater management and things that the township can do. In a 75-page report, they highlighted 21 sites that we can look at. So this grant would go into native vegetation to work on a few of those sites. So two things. It really coincides also with another resolution on our agenda for our grant writer. Hopefully we will approve that because she is working without a contract and worked through Super Bowl Sunday to help put this grant together, plus all the other grants that she has been working on. So that's what we're looking at. I would like to invite everyone. Good, please. I would like to invite again. This is the Friends of Edison. Friends of Edison is the fundraising arm of the National Historical Park, and we are having a champagne brunch and theater party at the Luna Stage, which is located at 55 Valley Road here in West Orange. This is on Sunday, February 22nd. Starts at 1:30, and the tickets are $40. You can go online. There is a link at the westorange.org website, or go directly to Friends of Edison's site. Champagne brunch, the show, there's a 3 o'clock matinee of Terrence McNally's A Perfect Ganesh. Received great reviews in NewJersey.com, so we invite everyone to attend.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Speaking on behalf of the West Orange Downtown Alliance, we had 2 brand-new stores open on Main Street. One is photography studios, photos by London Eye, and massage, yoga, and health clinic, Healthfully Yours, on Washington Street. So those are 2 new businesses that have come to the downtown corridor. So we look for you to partake and look at them and probably use their services. They have tremendous presentations, and they're a great addition to the Downtown Alliance. Also, we have the Unico Breakfast coming up on February 22nd to be held at the high school. Bless you. Held at West Orange High School in the Tarnoff Cafeteria. Tickets are $10 each, and it's the athletic event honoring a lot of our students, athletes, and it's a nice way to spend a day. It's at 10 o'clock.
And St. Patrick's Day
And
with our
then,
Grand Marshal
Who's the
here.
special guest at the Unical breakfast? Ray Lucas?
yes,
Yeah, former New York Jet.
yes, thank you.
Quarterback.
Thank you, Councilman.
I'm excited.
It's going to be a good turnout. And of course, as Councilwoman McCartney said, of course, we have our fantastic St. Patrick's Day parade coming up. And this year's Grand Marshal is our one and only Mr. Jack Sayers, our business administrator. So congratulations, Mr. Sayers.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Since we have no other business with our conference agenda, my colleagues, I'll close our conference agenda.
I do
Oh,
though.
I'm
I
sorry.
do see that the library director just walked in, and we just had the question about the library. I don't want to put Dave on the spot, but if you, just a question about the library.
Hi, Ms.
and
Cubby, how are you?
And we were happy that, we were happy no one was hurt, but that the work got done, and you were opened right away.
Question?
Joe, you want to, how do you want to pose your question? Do you have a, just administratively, or
Just
for the
basically an
library
update.
itself? How was it affected?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if as many people who might be interested in what's going on with the library know what happened. And so I just asked the administration to perhaps discuss a little bit about what happened and what next steps are going on, that sort of thing.
The administration of the library?
No, I actually asked the,
Okay.
All right.
He's happy to be open.
Take the mic,
Yes.
Oh, yes, I do need
please.
Basically what happened, thank God there was no structural damage to the library other than the facade. And what happened was there are some metal beams that hold the brick up onto the library that are underneath the brick. And those metal beams are actually drilled into the center of the cement in the library. What happened was the actual beams pulled off the building, and when they pulled off the building, the brick just fell to the ground. The right side of the library and the left side fell down. Interestingly enough, when we
just the
checked...
facade, not,
Yeah, no, just the
Only
facade.
bricks
okay, I
on the
just wasn't
outside,
sure.
right.
if you
Yeah,
hear
no,
that.
it was just the brick facade. The brick facade
Right,
is
okay.
put
Just
onto
wanted to
the
be clear.
cement, okay? And when it's on the cement, there's beams that go underneath the brick that are supposed to hold the brick up onto the building. What happened is those beams pulled off the cement. When they pulled off the cement, well, a certain section pulled off. When that pulled off, it brought all the brick down. Luckily, when we looked at the tapes, believe it or not, that brick fell at like 2:35 in the afternoon, and there was a young girl walking through the parking lot at 2:33 in the afternoon. So 2 minutes either way would have been a catastrophe. Thank God that didn't happen. We lost a few vehicles. That was it. We brought in a structural engineer, and we had some discussions about what to do, and the decision was made to take all the brick off the facade and seal the library on an emergency basis, which is probably going to be completed by tomorrow, I believe, the facade takedown.
Oh, okay.
And then what we're going to do is we are putting plans together right now to resurface the facade, and that project will be put out with bid specs and go out to bid once it's completed by our structural engineer, Mr. Lepore, and another engineer who was working on the project, Rick Adels. So thank God, I mean, even though it was pretty nasty, nothing crazy happened other than that we lost a couple of vehicles.
And we were just closed for the evening.
Yeah, one day,
We
that
were
was it.
back
Because
in business the
structurally,
next
from the
morning.
inside, there's nothing wrong. But once you take the brick down, if you look outside now, you'll see the building is being sealed because you can't let any water or anything get inside the building.
Right.
So once the building is sealed, then we're going to put the whole project out to bid and figure out what the new facade is going to be.
Do you, Mr. Sayers, any difference in cost to the township between what insurance will pay and what additional work will have to be done?
I don't know what insurance is going to pay at this point. They've already been out here. Mr. Lepore sent them some photos late yesterday afternoon, so I'm not sure what the insurance is going to cover based upon what happened and how it happened. But I can't answer that question at this time because I really don't know what it's going to cost.
Okay, but the structural engineer investigated the whole structure of the library.
The
and
engineers are
found-
very comfortable that the structure is sound. It was just a facade problem.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any idea about the costs? I guess right now we're doing emergency expenditures because this had to be done
Right.
quickly. But any idea of how much the emergency side of the cost is gonna be and how much to?
I have no idea, Councilman, I really don't. I mean, we had to get the brick taken down. They've been working on it since the day it happened, and I believe they may be completed by tomorrow, hopefully, because they started moving some of the equipment out. So there's only a little piece, I think, by the front door that still has to come out. Once that's done, we're going to obviously get a bill and see what that is, and then we're going to have to bid out refacading the building.
Did you actually have a structural engineer look at the building and look at what happened?
Here's what they think. The beams that run along the bottom that hold the brick up are very wide steel beams. If you look at it, you can still see one of them hanging, and you can see the cement where the actual beam pulled off. One of the structural engineers said that the bolts that were holding the beam in were 3 feet apart, and he felt that they shouldn't bend more than 2 feet apart. So, but based on the heaviness of the brick, if there's the further apart they are, the easier it is for that to happen. Now, whether that was code back when the building was built versus now, I'm not sure, but that's what they didn't think it was a water or a moisture problem at all. That's what we first thought.
That's actually what I wanted to ask you about, whether we have records that show who the engineer or who the architect or who the construction people were back then. I know it's been a while.
I would think.
Because if it was something that was done by the engineer or the construction people, if they've done any other buildings, any other work in town, maybe we should check them too.
Yes. Actually, Mr. Lepore's checking that, right,
Okay.
those types of things out now. So we're trying to figure out, but we're pretty confident that the structure is sound, and there was no more, when I first saw it, I thought it would have, because of the snow and the ice, that maybe there was some moisture that got behind the brick and pushed it out, but there was no sign of that whatsoever.
Okay. Mr. Kuby, you feel everything going okay? Everything?
Yeah, I really appreciate the speed with which the town responded. It was nice I heard the noise, I went out, I went downstairs where I could poke my head out, there was a police officer there, told me to get back inside. I went back upstairs to make sure I got everyone out, and the police were already there evacuating people, the fire was there, the business administrator was there, the engineer showed up, the mayor showed up. It was, I just really appreciate, and we all appreciate how quickly the town got us back up and running.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Glad it's
Thank
working
you.
out. Okay, I can close the meeting, right? Okay, we're done. Okay, now we go on to our public meeting. So, okay.
Not for 3 minutes.
I'm sorry? Not for 3 minutes, okay. We'll return back with our public meeting very shortly, so thank you very much. Good evening, West Orange, and welcome to our Township Council meeting of February 10th. Madam Clerk, would you kindly read the opening statement?
This is to inform the general public that this meeting is being held in compliance with Section 5 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. A notice of this meeting was mailed to the Star Ledger and the West Orange Chronicle on December 1st, 2014. A notice of this meeting was also posted on the bulletin board in the Municipal Building, West Orange, and filed in the office of the Municipal Clerk of the Township of West Orange on December 1st, 2014. Councilman Cirillo?
Present.
Councilman Kukoviac?
Present.
Councilwoman Spango?
Present.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Present.
Council President Garino.
Present. Okay. We'd like everyone in attendance to please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're just testing.
Yeah, thank you.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The council is now in their public meeting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I would like to now open the council meeting to public comment. Anybody wishing to address the Township Council, please come up and please state your name and address, and feel free to speak your mind. Yes, sir, please.
My name is George Stafford. I'm the Outreach Director for the New Jersey Highlands Coalition. I've actually been here before. I think you guys have changed seats, rearranged a little bit. But we requested the last time I was here a consideration of a resolution of support for the 2004 Highlands Water Protection and Planning Act, and we hadn't heard from you. So I wanted to come back. You're one of the communities that receives a good deal of their water from Highlands sources. DEP's website indicates that while you get your water from really a dizzying amount of different places, that up to 50% of the water actually comes from Highlands sources, that is to say, Passaic River Valley or aquifers from the Highlands, etc. Presently, the Highlands Council is considering revising this. This is the regional master plan that was passed and put together in 2008. Has yet to be implemented. They're supposed to be replaced every 6 years. So we're in the process of doing that, and they're taking comment on what changes might be made or modifications might be made to the master plan. The coalition requested the council to take input from outside the Highlands in areas outside the Highlands. For instance, Essex, Hudson, Bergen County area, Mercer, Somerset, Middlesex County area, and they pretty much refused. All comment is coming from within the Highlands. There are 244 communities representing over 5 million people who get some or all of their water from the Highlands, and the Highlands Council prefers not to hear from them in regards to any changes that might be made from this. So one of the things that I've been doing for the last 2 years is going to town council meetings, freeholder meetings, and environmental commission meetings all over the northern part of the state. I haven't made all 244 yet. Some of them are almost all the way down to Camden, which I had to figure out. But what we are trying to do is get support from communities to show the council that there is interest, that people are paying attention to what's going on in the Highlands, because it's so very important. There's an awful lot of us and them at the Highlands Council meetings of local people who come up there and say they're using our water, they should be paying for the water that they're using that belongs to us. Our economy has been damaged by the act, which, as a former tax commissioner in Morris County, I kind of investigated and found out that property values inside the Highlands and outside the Highlands pretty much follow the same roller coaster trail since 2004. Up, obviously, during the peak of the real estate bubble, and down, and then back up again. But at any rate, I have been here actually twice before, and I don't know if you've had an opportunity to consider the resolution or not that I left with you. God knows you've got enough things on your mind with bricks falling off the library and everything else that goes on a regular basis. I'm an old town councilman from Wharton, a much smaller town, but I realize that you have a lot on your plate. But the end of public comment is coming this spring, and we would like to be able to tell the Highlands Council that there is a lot of interest outside the Highlands in this regard. We have 74 communities, freeholder boards, and environmental commissions, including the Essex County Freeholder Board, Caldwell, North Caldwell, Belleville, Bloomfield, a number of other communities, Nutley, I believe, in Essex County and surrounding areas. We have Princeton, we have Winfield Township. I didn't even know there was a Winfield Township. It's a little bitty thing that sits down off the parkway around Cranford. So I've been going out to that, and I would ask you, as a matter of fact, I would urge you to consider the resolution. I have copies of the resolution here. I have copies of your water information, the number of towns that have passed this before. I don't want to take much more of your time. The resolution is very simple. It's 165 words on one page. It was originally almost 1,000 words, but being an old town councilman, I knew nobody was going to read a 1,000-word resolution. So I got it down to 165, which includes my contact information. So if you have any questions now, I'd be happy to answer them, and if you don't, I'd be more than happy to take any calls or emails that you'd like to give. And I'll send a Word copy to you tomorrow so that you'll have it. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If you'd like a copy of this to prop open a door here somewhere in the town hall, you're more than welcome to it. I'm figuring that's about 4.5 pounds. And I'll leave the information with your clerk, if I may.
Thank you,
Please,
sir.
thank you.
Yeah,
I have a quick question.
Sure.
Hopefully the answer is as quick. What are the main arguments against the changes here on the, sort of the other side from where you're sitting now?
One of the main, I'll just give you briefly, one of the main issues is nitrate dilution standards. And there's no real polite way to talk about that. We're talking about septic systems. Septic systems in the Western Highlands are pretty much, they don't have the infrastructure that we have in urban and suburban parts of New Jersey, and you've got a well in the front yard and you've got a septic system in the back. And they feel that that's holding back ratables, et cetera. Quite frankly, the studies that we've done have showed that the change in the marketplace, in the real estate marketplace, and the change in things, the town center situations, you know, Hoboken's an example, Jersey City's an example, Montclair, your own community, that's where development is in the state of New Jersey. The idea that you're going to take a farm that used to grow corn on 100 acres and throw up 2,000 condos, that ship has sailed. That's not the way things are now. There's no gas in the streets up there. So they're scapegoating the Highlands Act with the fact that the economy has changed, and there are a lot of communities up there don't want to change with it. So there are a number of things like that. There's talk of a water tax. They've got 800,000 people versus 5 million people who get the water from there. That doesn't look too good to me in the state legislature to vote for a water tax. But there are a number of things like that. But it's gotten to be the dynamic where it's us against them, and we want to show everybody up there that this is one economy. They complain about what goes on in the other communities. They hop in their cars and drive down here and go to work, and then they take the paycheck back up there. And so that's part of what we're trying to do.
So is there a source that someone could go to that perhaps is watching the video of this meeting at home and wants to get
Well,
more information?
there's the Highlands Council has a website. The Highlands Coalition, our group, has a website, and there's plenty of information available there. Maybe I'll slip this to the library director, and you know they can they can reference that.
That's what
here.
we
The
do.
resource room.
There you go. Yeah, it's all spelled out. I have to tell you that, you know, I mean, it's laborious. I mean, there are tons and tons of information. But what basically it boils down to is limitations on development in areas with water recharge. There aren't many other sources of water that we can go to if we're going to use more water in New Jersey. You've got the Pinelands, which are South Jersey, and you've got the Highlands in northern New Jersey. And if you're going to have greater water needs going down the line, that's where the water's going to come from. And if we're going to pave that over in the Highlands, every acre that you pave or roof over in the Highlands is 4 million gallons of runoff every year. Aside from the flooding factor, the fact is if you get that rapid runoff, that's gone. You know, that's out in Newark Bay, and it's salt water and it's not usable. The way it is now, we have recharge areas, forests up there that hold the water and let out a reliable source. It's like a giant sponge, a reservoir that we have.
No, thank you. And you'll give our town clerk also those websites that our residents can visit, and we
Absolutely.
can put it on our website?
Certainly.
Okay, thank you.
Certainly.
Council
happy to.
President, I wanted to say, George, not to make you come back again, but when you did come, we were in a state of flux with our Environmental Commission, and it was reinstated. So our next meeting will be February 26th, Thursday. If you'd like to come, you may.
And
But
meeting's
if
here
we
in Town
have,
Hall?
it's here in Town Hall.
Yeah.
But if we have all of the information that you forward to the clerk, I can share it with the Environmental
I'll be
Commission
happy to come
members.
back.
February 26th.
You know,
7 o'clock
going to
here in
Bordentown or Cranberry in February is a problem. Running down Route 280
Okay.
is a much more pleasant task, believe me.
7 o'clock, February
7 o'clock.
26th.
Okay, the
Thank you.
26th. I
Thank you
appreciate
for your
it.
time, sir. We
Well, thank
appreciate
you
it.
for your time.
Anyone else wishing to speak to the council?
You should give that to the library.
You should, right? Good evening.
Good evening, Claire Silvestri, 20 Grandview Avenue. I was here at the last council meeting and viewed the Downtown Alliance presentation. I like and respect the people I know who serve on that board, and I believe they're doing their best to bolster our downtown business districts. However, these days, a drive down Main Street is pretty depressing. In all the years I've lived in town, I believe I've never seen so many empty storefronts. Coincidentally, I read an article in the Star Ledger last week about a community development proposal to enhance the Irvington Avenue corridor from Newark through Irvington, Maplewood, and South Orange. It was put forth by a group called Together North Jersey. The article piqued my interest, and I thought perhaps this organization could help West Orange with our Main Street corridor, and even more so in the Valley, because the group seems focused on areas near transportation hubs. So I Googled Together North Jersey and found a wealth of information on the group's website. I discovered it was formed in late 2011 and is funded by a $5 million HUD grant with an additional $5 million leverage from its project partners. It's affiliated with the Blaustein School of Planning and Public Policy at Rutgers, and it boasts heavy-hitting professional expertise and some exciting projects currently underway. Of its 18 local demonstration projects, one features a new vision for downtown Springfield, and another takes a unified approach to the Bloomfield Avenue corridor, running through Bloomfield, Glen Ridge, Montclair, and Verona. What really surprised me, though, is that one of Together North Jersey's very first initiatives focused on areas in several neighboring communities along the Morrison-Essex rail corridor, including the Valley. I found on the website an initial announcement of the coalition's demonstration projects, which listed West Orange as a partner with East Orange, Orange, and Newark in this particular initiative. And then, in the June 2013 final report, a mention of several West Orange locations as key places in the plan, but we were no longer listed as a community partner. The report included numerous recommendations to improve viability in the Valley, and I noted some had been acted on by the Downtown Alliance, like focusing on the Columbus Circle area. But I didn't recall ever hearing Together North Jersey discussed here, and so I was confused as to whether the town had actually ever applied for a grant with them. And then I found a report specifically on the Valley Arts District that was posted to their website just last month. It says, I gotta put my glasses on to read this. Together North Jersey has released the final report of the Urban Design Framework and Streetscape Guidelines for the Valley Arts District Microgrant Project. Through public art and urban design, the district's streets and other public areas will be used to connect the many art amenities located throughout the area. The plan follows the growing trend of creative placemaking as a way of revitalizing communities. Local artists were engaged in every aspect of preparing the plan, ensuring that the project is authentically local and invested in by the creative community, residents, and businesses. I reviewed the 50-page report and found it impressive in its thoroughness, addressing everything from sidewalks, crosswalks, parking, to lighting, landscaping, and public art. It also identifies 6 priority projects to create new parks or upgrade existing open space, 2 of which that are within the boundaries of West Orange. And here's where I really got confused. Priority project number 3 on this master plan is a skate park proposed for the site of the new Valley Police Substation. And the skate park appears to be such an important element of this proposal, the location is pictured on the cover of their final report. So I was wondering if somebody from the council or administration can explain this. Together North Jersey touts partnerships as one of the keys to future success in civic planning. Partnerships between various municipalities, nonprofits, county, state, local governments, and the public. Yet it appears there may be a flaw in the partnership model here. So I wonder, is West Orange involved in the Valley Arts District project, or have we ever pursued assistance from Together North Jersey? And if not, why not? The township's been without a full-time planner for several years, and it appears that we could really benefit from the expertise and resources of the professionals associated with Together North Jersey. And in closing, I just want to mention, I find it pretty interesting that a highly accomplished urban planner envisions the corner of Valley and Mitchell Streets as a skate park, a safe place for young people to congregate, while we, our government leaders, have chosen to locate a police substation there. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak to the council? Mr. Puglisi? Welcome, sir.
Hi, Anthony Puglisi, representing County Executive Joe DiVincenzo this evening. I know the weather's been rather horrible the last month or so. Just want to let you know that the township, through the mayor and Jack Sayers, myself, our public works, both the county and the town, we're in constant contact during those storms, and hopefully the results have been effective for everyone. I know the mayor and I converse regularly during storms. He lets me know of various trouble areas that he would like us to pay more attention to. We've helped West Orange out with some salt at one of the earlier storms, so hopefully this will be all over soon. And with the arrival of spring, of course, there's cherry blossoms. Even though it's cold out, we are planning for the spring. Programs at the Turtleback Zoo, Environmental Center, and Cody Arena. And always, I ask your residents if they're looking for something to do at the complex or any questions about Essex County. Our website is essexcountynj.org. That's all I have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank the county for its cooperation with the township. It's been very beneficial. Would anyone else like to approach the council? No? Okay. Seeing none, I close public comment. My colleagues, Councilwoman McCartney, any responses?
I appreciate Claire looking into Together New Jersey. I've heard of it, I'm not familiar with it. I have served on the Valley Arts Board. It has not come up at any of the discussions I have. That does sound like an urban planner just took an aerial view and worked that out. It isn't anything that the planning board has looked at from a master plan point of view. It sounds interesting. I don't know about the skate park. It sounds interesting. I don't know. I really don't know enough about Together New Jersey. I'd love to could Google it myself or take that. It would be fine. We do have a meeting on February 17th. You're invited to attend or to, I would just bring it up to their attention or try to get more information. It may be a collaborative effort through hands because it's on the Orange end, not the West Orange end. So it isn't, not that to my knowledge, it isn't anything that the Planning Board or Valley Arts or the West Orange Arts Council, for that matter, is involved in, that I know.
Thank you.
And I would certainly bring it to the attention of our grant writer to just see if there is anything available that we can use on the West Orange border. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Cirillo?
Thank you, Council President. On that note, I guess it would be the planning department in collaboration with the grant writer that will look into what possibilities may exist as it relates to Together North Jersey.
Thanks.
I would recommend that and the planning board. It is a helpful tool to assist us in coming up with ideas, concepts. I know that in the city of Passaic, we've worked together with them in developing a new redevelopment plan for the east side of the city of Passaic, and which has allowed us to also really pinpoint sources of funding. And as a matter of fact, it led to the city being named as one of the recipients of a new tax credit program that the state of New Jersey has implemented. So there is a lot of potential. So I urge the township to look into possibilities that can come about in the area of planning from this organization. Basically, it's like free professional services that may be out there. Mr. Puglisi, thank you again. We've received a lot of compliments on the snow removal, and I'm glad to find out today that it has also been with the cooperation of the county. So thank you very much. It's been pretty brutal out there, but we have heard nothing but compliments, both at the ShopRite in person or through social media. So I want to commend the administration for that, for the level of proactiveness and the quick response. One more comment, Council President. I want to talk about the Relay for Life. We went to the kickoff last night. Lisa Renwick leads that organization. The Relay for Life is scheduled for May 15th this year. It's at the high school. It's an event where everyone comes together to try to raise funds for cancer research. This year is the 30th anniversary of Relay for Life. And over those 30 years, it has raised over $6 billion globally to assist in cancer research. As you know, we all either have a family member or know someone that has been affected by this terrible disease. So just come out and check it out. Look for more information online at relayforlife.org/West Orange NJ. And I do want to commend Lisa for her spirit and attitude. She's so proactive in helping our community be involved in this this global effort. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Kukoviac.
Thank you, Council President. I just wondered if the administration was familiar at all with this, Together New Jersey. I know Ms. Borg, before she retired, she's not around anymore, not an easy phone call, whether Mr. Greigel had done any work to help that out. And if we don't know at this point, maybe at the next council meeting, we could just find out if there was anything that we did on this, because it's weird that they would have had us as participating at the beginning of the initiative and then not at the end, so.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Councilwoman?
I mean, I think everything has been said. I just wanted to add a great job to the administration, our public workers, and to our county executive for the county roads.
Thank you. I'd like to piggyback on that. Our thanks to the county for its cooperation to the township and its residents. Our residents are very appreciative to be able to get to work and safely get to work, and our students get to school. I know they like that. The other thing is to talk about Lisa Renwick. Yes, I missed the meeting, but she's already putting me to work, Councilman. So it's a great thing, and according to Councilman Cirillo, it's a worthwhile cause at the high school. And our high school students are so involved in this program and its process. It's just unbelievable, and I have to give them a lot of credit, and a lot of credit to the people who volunteer. It's something that it touches every one of our lives. And Councilman, thank you for bringing that up. It's a good point. About the Main Street corridor, the Main Street corridor and the process that the Downtown West Orange Alliance has done over the past few years, there's been a lot more that was done in the previous years. Yes, there's a lot more we can do, and there's a lot of organizations that we can tap into. Together New Jersey we can tap into. But we have tapped into Main Street New Jersey and Main Street USA, where we've gotten a lot of free advice and backup and direction on where we can take our downtown. They've come, and we had a SWAT meeting here in West Orange 2 months ago, where over 60 businessmen and residents attended and participated in a dialogue to find out what were our pluses and what were our weaknesses in the downtown corridor, and actually looking at the whole township business district. And next week we are going to get the report back from the state on their findings on what came from our meeting. And it was a great start. There will be more. We also have our roundtables taking place throughout the downtown corridor. We're finding business people now are coming up because we've given them the access to talk to the Downtown Alliance, to talk to us, to say what they think is lacking in the downtown corridor and what more we can do as a township to benefit small business in the downtown corridor. And these have been very successful. Of course, with these two new businesses that we had ribbon cuttings that the mayor was at on Saturday, it was on the building on Washington and Main Street, the building where the truck ran through it, and it was totally restored. The developer, he just did such a fantastic job that people came, and other people now are coming to look at his building to see what they can do in the downtown corridor to make things better. People like new and innovative ways of doing business and the way buildings are done. So I see the corridor, we can do more. We can reach out to other organizations because you never turn any free things away. You don't. But I feel the Downtown Alliance is doing a lot more, and you'll see a lot more on the corridor. And feel free to go to our website. Feel free to give your opinions. That's what we're there for. Call Megan Brill and here at Town Hall and voice your opinions or concerns, and that's what she likes to hear. This way we can act on them. And that's all I have to say. So thank you. Madam Clerk?
Consent agenda. Approval of meeting minutes of previous meeting. Public meeting, January 27th, 2015.
Consent.
Report of township officers, none. Reading of petitions and communications and bids, none. Bills. Are there any questions on the bills?
Consent.
Resolutions. Are any resolutions being pulled this evening?
Yes,
Council President, I am not pulling this resolution, but I do want to commend the Historic Preservation Commission on Resolution 57-15. When this was a resolution about Verizon leasing space on the roof here at Town Hall, And I have to admit, I was looking at the revenue portion of that lease agreement, but the Historic Preservation Commission weighed in on the application, and they got Verizon to agree on redesigning the cell tower on the antenna on the roof here, because this is a historically significant building. So I commend them for weighing in on that. And that's it. And I found out that our resolution on our grant writer is being,
Was pulled.
was
removed.
pulled, will be
Do you want to ask why? or-
oh, no, I found out. I did request, if you call, I copied everyone on that email. I had asked the grant writer to submit a report on grants that have been awarded, grants that have been denied, and grants that are pending. And she did admit, because she was working on police grants, that she didn't really have time to put it together. And even if it were informal, so we could see the numbers, and that didn't happen. So when we get that report, then we can address that.
Cost effectiveness. Madam Clerk, I would like to pull for questions Resolution 55-15, Resolution 58-15, and 61-15.
You're pulling.
Questions.
Oh,
I'm pulling them for questions,
oh,
and
no.
One or the
Okay.
other.
Well,
I have questions.
So
so
you
you're,
don't
they're
pull
not.
I'm not pulling, I apologize.
Oh, okay, so I'll cross that out. Okay, okay.
I'm still learning.
So they're being pulled.
No, they're questions, Mr. Sayers, I'm sorry.
So you have to ask your questions
I'll
before
ask them
we
right.
approve the
Okay.
consent agenda.
Sorry. On Resolution 55-15, either the administration or Fire Chief, I see, thank you for being here tonight, Chief. Just wondering what was the cause to rescind these two bids?
The bids came in over our anticipated budget.
And what was our anticipated budget?
About 40,000 less than
40,000
what
less.
this-
Does the administration have any way, are you reproposing, or are we working with any vendors?
We
or-
have alternate, we've been looking as an alternative to this, since this is such a large purchase, not just the bidding process, but also, we could have come to council through a co-op first, but we felt that we would try, just put out the bid to see whether or not the bidding process got a better result than what we anticipate would come from a co-op. As it turns out, it did not. And therefore, we believe that we'll be back at the next meeting with a resolution to award through a co-op.
Do you know when the administration will be proposing the,
2 weeks.
in 2 weeks?
Yes.
Okay. Questions for Resolution 58-15, the reimbursement for garbage collection. How were these rates developed, that we reimburse the,
We've done, first off, the actual labor rate is based on what we're charged, so those are actual numbers, and then we have an estimate that our engineering department has put together that on average, a unit, a residential unit, will consume about 1/2 ton a year. So based on that, and what the county charges, we came up with what we feel is the correct cost. for
okay,
reimbursement.
so these are based upon estimated tonnage from these areas, or?
Well, there's no way to measure exact. So we based on the models that we have and what we have seen here in the township, that they reflect as accurate as we can get. And it's a standard that's been used and accepted with the agreements that we have with condo associations. So to some extent, it's contractual as well.
And it's a law. And the Kelly Act, it's the
the
law
Kelly
to
Act,
do
right.
this.
I mean, the
yeah.
fact that we have to, and the protocol is identified within that.
I was just trying to understand the reimbursement, but
Yeah.
so I understand.
Percentage of it.
Right.
on that?
Sure, go ahead, Councilwoman.
Mr. Gross, if we're reimbursing the private homeowners association, so that means they have their own private garbage?
They have their own pickup.
So
And the
they're-
list is much shorter than the list now. I think we're down to just a few number of vendors, of associations that we're actually reimbursing. The list used to be much longer, where now we're picking
Is
with
it
the new
cost
contract.
effective for us not to pick up their garbage and give them a reimbursement?
It's, at least in theory, it's identically the same, makes no difference to us.
It makes no difference. So you're not spending any more or saving any more?
It's not savings or nor spending.
Okay, thank you.
And that's all my questions for that. And for questions on Resolution 61-15, which is a great thing that we should do and part of Municipal Alliance should do, especially with, for the residents of the township. My question is I understand the cash match, but what is the in-kind match to this resolution?
Depending on the program, it's very, could be office space, could be, supplies, things of that nature, things that we already have on hand. And that's all identified within the plan that we sent out this afternoon. So if you want to get a chance to take a look.
Sure.
Didn't come out till, mid-afternoon. It's in there if you want to look at what for each different program, what the in-kind contribution is.
Do you know what the number of residents who take advantage of this program?
I don't have that tonight. I do not have that. I can certainly ask for that for you.
Okay, I'd like to know just what we.
Sure.
Okay. All right, thank you.
I think it's pretty high because a lot of
But
it's
they're all
run
different.
in reference within the schools.
Right.
It's mostly, teenage kids and elementary school students, depending on the different programs. So I would say the numbers are sizable. That's been generally my experience with this program, but I can try to get exact numbers for you if you like.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Gross. Councilwoman Spango?
My questions have been answered, thank you.
Okay. Councilman Kukoviac?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to clarify when we were all talking about Resolution 5515, it's for the replacement of our ladder truck.
Correct.
And it's way past its useful life. It wasn't customized for us when it was purchased. I just get all this information from the fire chief, that we spent more than $200,000 in repairs over the last 8 years on this truck. So I commend the administration for getting us this truck and as quickly as possible, because I think we really need it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Cirillo?
Yeah, just a quick question, and I guess the answer is no, but there are no co-op or cooperative purchasing agencies that may have this vehicle available, possibly from us?
Not available like on hand?
Well, not on hand, but
we do.
like,
There is
look
a
into it?
cooperative agency. It's a nationwide co-op. That again, we'll be back at our next meeting with it. We believe with a resolution to award.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you found, okay, great,
Good.
great, thank you.
Good
We
job.
had previously approved this, going back a few months, about actually.
Yeah, we were anticipating that as a possibility, and so we did ask the council to approve our participation in this particular
good.
co-op,
Right.
which and this isn't the only thing that they have, but we were looking at this in particular. But again, as part of our due diligence, we thought that knowing that there was co-op out there, that possibly bidding could do better than the co-op prices, but as we learned, that wasn't the case.
Well, I commend you for that.
Yes.
Now you have some comparables, and you're making the best financial decision for the town. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Madam
Councilman.
Clerk?
Okay, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The consent agenda is implemented. Ordinances on second and final reading. Ordinance 2436-15, an ordinance amending Chapter 25, several sections of the revised general ordinances of the Township of West Orange, revision of various zoning ordinances. Is there, oh, no,
No, sorry, can I just like this, to the general public, this is an ordinance that will deal with site plans, major and minor site plans, and site plan review from the advisory board, from the planning board. Councilwoman McCartney, since you
Sure.
sit on the planning board, would you like to
Yeah,
add a
of
little bit
course,
to the general
sure.
public?
So this is actually, the technical review meeting, we have a meeting tomorrow morning at 8:30 tomorrow morning. This reviews, it's a preliminary hearing. I thought it was so effective. Over the years, it has been very effective for a new business or existing business to meet with the officials that they need to meet with, to go over their application, to deem it complete. If it is incomplete, they can tell them what they need and what they need to do. But it turned out that we were looking at every single application that came in, which really wasn't necessary, because if it changes from, the use is the same, there's really no reason to change. If they weren't, we were looking at things that didn't require the health department to changes in sinks and appliances and things. So we are scaling back. The list of definitions is in here, and I have a right here, it says, one significant result of the changes would be to limit what is currently known as a technical review to larger applications. Changes in tenancy of existing storefronts and other developments do not require major site plan approval, and they would no longer have to wait for this extra layer of review. And what will happen now is that if an applicant comes to the planning department, there will be a flow chart. So they're still going to get the necessary services that they need and direction. There'll be a flow chart created to help, but it's not a separate meeting that really ends up prolonging their application.
So it's streamlining.
It's streamlining.
Very good. Thank you, Councilwoman.
Is there a motion to introduce on second and final reading?
So move.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes. Are there any members from the public who would like to speak on ordinance 2436-15? Seeing none, I close public comment on ordinance 2436-15. Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt on second and final reading?
So
If I
moved.
could, before
Oh,
the
sorry.
motion is voted on, I just had a couple questions, if I could, on this before we actually vote. And I had actually asked the questions when it was heard on first reading, and didn't get the answers, and I failed to follow up for this meeting. So I'm hoping with you here,
I'll try.
maybe you can help. There are several sections on the proposed ordinance that differ from Mr. Greigel's memo from November of 2014. And I just wanted to be sure that there wasn't anything that got dropped in the transition, because there's a lot of moving parts as to how the ordinance was changed. And I just want to make sure that his memo of November 5th, there were changes made to the ordinance that were not reflected in his memo, and I just want to make sure that it wasn't because of a recording error. So for example, if you look at chapter 2551, section 15, it deletes part of the previous subsection C that provided for an applicant who disagreed with the technical advisory committee to have the application heard by either the planning board or the zoning board. Now, in the final that we're looking at now, that provision is eliminated in this proposed chapter for the site plan review advisory board, the new body. And the proposed chapter does not appear to specify what an applicant can do if it disagrees with the advisory board, or what the applicant does with the board's recommendations. So I just wanted to make sure, again, this is not something that I'm an expert on.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you're here, and I'm hoping you can help, but I just want to make sure that things weren't dropped accidentally, just
Right.
because there were so many pieces.
The technical review meeting is a preliminary meeting. It's to hold someone's hand, walk them through, tell them what it is they need. So if an application is denied at that point, it's really deemed incomplete. Not that we're denying it, or else there is a reason that we're denying it. And that's explained to them. If they disagree, then they can come before the planning board, that if they either need a variance, there'll be things that they have to present to the planning board on the merit of their application. So that wouldn't change. But the technical review meeting irons all of that out before they get to that point. So we are trying to streamline, we're trying to be more cost efficient for the department, but also for the applicant. Because each time you have these meetings, you are bringing your professionals along with you. So that's what we're trying to avoid. So the technical review meeting is really just to iron all of that out and to help the applicant.
But now with the new advisory board,
The same.
if they disagree with something that the advisory board tells them, and like you said, you just tell them what needs to be done to
Right.
complete their application, they can go and not really appeal, but at least get their say before
course.
the full board.
Of course.
Okay.
But that most likely will mean they're asking for a variance or they're asking for an exception
Right.
to something that we're recommending is going to be
So
an extra step.
you're the closest thing we have to an expert on this. I just want to make sure that because
We have the plan.
sections of this proposed ordinance changed from Mr. Greigill's
Mhm.
memo from last November, that's something that the planning board is
Has
on
hashed
board
out.
with, and
Has
that
hashed out.
is agreed to.
Yep.
Because there appears to be changes that were made subsequent to Mr. Greigill's memo in the final ordinance, and I just figured he, as the town planner, would be the final say. So it just sort of raised the
Yeah,
flag as
this-
to-
Right, this was a draft, and he was instrumental in putting the actual ordinance together. That's what we're reading. Robin, I know our planning secretary is
Ms.
here, who
Miller,
has
would you
to
like
type
would
all
you
of this
Please come
up.
up.
Oh, you just happen to be walking by?
We have our,
No,
we have
she
our-
has been waiting for
plan-
this to be on our agenda for a very long time. This has been
Thank you,
removed
thank
and
you.
replaced and
Thank you for spending your Tuesday evening with us, Ms. Miller.
A lot of them.
and Wednesday.
I'm sorry, I'm actually here on behalf of our chairman, Ben Heller. He had a work conflict, otherwise he would be here to speak on this. In answer to your question, the ordinance is approved by Paul. Paul reviewed it extensively after it was submitted for first reading. The only reason it was pulled after, there was one small typo. It was a letter. And that's why it wasn't on for second reading at the last meeting. That's all.
Okay.
That was it.
But so
Um,
Joe's point, Robin, is that in Paul's draft, there were quite a bit of information, and then it's just been whittled down to what this current ordinance is. He wants to make sure that nothing was overlooked or, dropped out of the way, but that was a draft, and we did go over it, and he really
Tech
did design
review,
this.
there is no formal testimony under oath at tech review. Tech review is really just for completeness. It kind of, as it is now, it morphed into something that should not have been. What we have proposed is going to be more under, it will be more in line with accepted municipal land use law. And larger plans will go before the full planning board. It's then and only then, if something was denied, that it could be appealed. But this is a good ordinance. This will actually streamline, this will help small business owners cut their time from, I want to open a store 30 to 60 days from start to finish. It's a really, really good plan. So it's very helpful to the small business owners. Any larger applications would still have to go through this process.
Mhm.
So,
That's fine.
I hope
Thank
that
you.
helps.
Just like I said, there were changes from Mr. Greigill's memo in November, so as long as he's fine with them, I'm fine with them as well.
absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other
Thank you.
questions for our planning? No? Thank you, Ms. Miller.
My pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2436-15?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes.
Ordinance 2439-15, an ordinance amending an ordinance creating a reclassification and salary schedule of certain Township of West Orange employees, setting forth their titles, classifications, and salary ranges, and adopting a salary guide and establishing the employee status as a Township employee and under the guidelines of the New Jersey Department of Personnel, Assistant Supervisor / Public Works. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2439, is there a motion to introduce on second and final reading ordinance 2439-15?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Krokoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes. Any members from the public wishing to speak upon this resolution? Seeing none, any of my council colleagues wishing to ask any questions about this ordinance? Councilman Kukoviac?
And this goes back to something that was decided on during the budget hearings last year, and it adds, I think, roughly maybe $5,000 a year to our overall workforce budget, because I didn't feel like it was necessary, so I voted against it then, and I'm just gonna vote against it now, just to be consistent, so I just wanted to explain that. That's all.
Noted. Thank you, Councilman. Any other of my colleagues?
Jack,
wishing-
you can explain this, because this was during our budget hearings, and this,
What?
just to explain, these were for 4 or 5 assistant supervisors, and this is the agreement that
No,
would
what
bring them
happened
on?
was, we approved their raises in the budget, and it was a $5,000 raise over 2 years.
Right.
However, when we passed the first ordinance at the end of that budget, we only passed it for the first part, which was
the
$2,500. It should have been passed for both at that time. This is an
Mhm.
amendment to that ordinance, just so that they get what was
Right.
approved in the
What their
budget.
title is.
Thank you,
Good.
All right?
Okay,
I
thank
gotta
you.
run outside.
Madam Clerk?
Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 2439-15?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kukoviac?
No.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes.
Okay. Ordinances on first reading, ordinance 2442-15, an ordinance amending the revised general ordinances of the Township of West Orange, Chapter 23, Section 1, establishing fees and rates at Ginny Dunkel Pool for the 2015 season. Is there a motion to introduce on first reading?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kukoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes.
Okay.
Council President, on this ordinance, though, I did ask, again, this is one of those ordinances where we're not seeing any changes, so Kevin, just to make a note, that we do like to see ordinances when we see changes like this, so that we can compare and see what the differences are. But I did speak to the director, and there are really no changes except for swim lessons to residents out of town. So,
Yeah, to non-residents.
Non-residents.
to non-residents.
Right.
You might just want to tell them what that is? Or I guess if they're non-residents, they're unlikely to be watching this. The lessons go from $80 to $100
Mhm.
as an incentive to get them to join,
They might as well.
to actually join as members of the board. So I don't think it affects just out-of-towners. I think it affects residents as well. Well, here's Mr. Sayers, maybe he can. We were just talking about on first reading, the ordinance of the fees and charges with the pool, and Councilwoman McCartney was saying that there was one change from last year, which was that swim lessons go from $80 to $100
Okay.
as an incentive to get people to perhaps join as members. And there was some discussion about whether that impacts residents or simply non-residents. And I think it
Yeah.
applies to everyone.
I think it
don't.
applies to everyone else.
Yeah,
It does not?
I don't.
don't
I
either.
can,
I think it
I'll
was
look
only
again, but
non-
that's another reason why we can look at
The-
both, but
The response that Mr. Gross gave you today says swim lessons for non-members.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right in your, this is.
for non-members, okay,
Non-members
not,
read it. Thank you, Councilwoman.
right.
Oh, non-members.
non-members, okay,
Non-members.
not
Non-members, not
non-residents,
non-residents.
okay,
Right.
that's a difference.
That's what I was
Right,
gonna say, where
not-
Yeah,
residents
that's,
came from.
okay.
Right, right.
Right.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? No, I'm sorry. Madam Clerk? Oh.
Ordinance 2443-15, an ordinance amending an ordinance creating a reclassification and salary of certain Township of West Orange employees, setting forth their titles, classifications, and salary ranges, and adopting a salary guide and establishing the employee's status as a Township employee under the guidelines of the New Jersey Department of Personnel, Plumbing Subcode Official. Is there a motion to introduce on first reading?
So moved. Second?
Councilman Cirillo?
Yes.
Councilman Kukoviac?
Yes.
Councilwoman Spango?
Yes.
Councilwoman McCartney?
Yes.
Council President Garino.
Yes. Okay,
No ABC.
that seems to end our council business for this evening. Before I ask for a motion to adjourn as a township council, I'd just like to wish all our residents a great week. Please make your way to come to our council meeting once in a while, see government in action. And also, our next meeting is February 24th here in council chambers. 6:30 is our conference agenda, 7 o'clock is our public meeting. We look for you to come out and be part of the town government. Councilman Kukoviac?
Yeah, before we do make a motion to adjourn, I wanted to see if I could bring up the issue about PRISM. I had mentioned this before the meeting, and at the top of the meeting, I don't know whether it got lost or whatever, but I would like to find out. There was some discussion by the mayors, some talk to the mayor at the state of the town, and just wanted to get an explanation of what's going on or what's not going on.
I think that's going to be discussed very shortly, Mr. Sayers, correct? With
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get that very shortly. Will it be on the council agenda? Will be.
No, I can just give you, I mean, I'm going to
Good.
give you a quick update, and we do plan on bringing it before the council. There is a discussion going on with a new equity partner with Prism Capital in Greenfield. It's a New York-based real estate investment firm by the name of Dune Financial. And they are in the process of coming up with an agreement that has not been finalized yet. If that agreement does get finalized within the next couple of weeks, we will have to come before the council to have the council approve the new equity part. They're coming in, I believe, as equity partners, if I'm not mistaken. So we're working diligently toward getting that. Well, we're not working toward diligently getting that done. PRISM is, but we're in the loop. They are going, as Councilman Krakowiak said, they're going before the Historic Preservation Commission tomorrow night to get their certificate of appropriateness hopefully approved. And once that gets done and the agreement's made, we hope to have this project moving by, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, April.
Good. All right, thank you, sir.
And anything that happens in between, I will keep you posted. And even if anyone from members of the council want to meet with Dune Financial, we'll be able to put something like that together. I'll set up a meeting date, and as long as one or two people only meet at the same time. You know, we can't meet all together, so it'll have to be one or two people at the time. They've already agreed to do that, so.
Okay, thank
All right?
you.
I'd like
Thank
to
you,
do
Mr.
that.
Sayers.
Definitely.
Sure.
With that, I'd like to get a motion to adjourn the town council meeting.
So moved?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Good night, West Orange. Have a great evening.